white men from Texas plotted to invade and conquer Haitian island with a plan to recruit homeless people for their militia and use their U.S. military training to kill the island's men and then enslave the women and children. So federal prosecutors announced the indictment of Gavin Rivers, 21, and Tanner Christopher Thomas, 20 years old, on charges of conspiracy to murder, maim, and kidnap in a foreign country. So according to the indictment, their preparations included researching weapons and ammunition, planning to buy military-style rifles, and even attempting to learn the Haitian Creole language. One of them, Tanner Thomas, allegedly joined the U.S. Air Force, specifically to acquire combat training for the planned invasion. Now, they plotted this for over a year, and their plans included plans to buy a sailboat and recruit homeless people to help. And the indictment says that Thomas even changed his Air Force assignment to a base in Maryland to try and recruit homeless people in D.C. for this invasion. Now, both men were also charged with production of child abuse material for allegedly persuading a minor to engage in explicit conduct. Their attorneys have stated they will plead not guilty to all charges. Now, if convicted, they both face a potential life sentence for the conspiracy charge and up to 30 years in prison for the child abuse material charge.
These two dudes who decided they were going to unalive an entire island of men and make the women and children schmegs slaves. These two white dudes, don't ever let anyone convince you that men are just lazy. They are lazy when it comes to adding, value to the community, to family, to women's lives and stuff like that, unless they've been doing a lot of work on themselves and unpacking that entitlement and selfishness that patriarchy taught them. But when they are determined to do harm, oh boy, are they not lazy. Look at what all these look at what these dudes did. This is coming off the U.S. government website, mind. And these guys are Gavin and Tanner, like, oh my God. Gavin, who's 21, and Tanner, who's 20, had the mindset of who? Christopher Columbus. They are fulfilling their ancestors' dreams, okay? That's what they're doing. If you know what I'm talking about, read this book, People's History of the United States. And this will make a lot of sense, because this is just what, this is a part of white history in the U.S. especially. These two dudes trained for nearly a year. They were very disciplined in their hate. So I want to tell you, people like women are like, oh my God, my boyfriend can't figure out my birthday present. He can't remember this. Have you seen what they do when they get into climbing? They remember every single move on a climbing route. They remember the names of every route. They know everything about gear. They know everything at the set list of every Widespread Panic concert they've ever been to. They know at the Roxy in '96 or whatever. They know the stats of their favorite football player. When they are passionate about something and really care, boy, are they not lazy. So these guys took Haitian Creole class for nearly a year to prepare to enslave women and children into becoming slaves. After do you know how many people are on this island? About 87,000. Possibly up to 100,000. This is a very hard island to get to, apparently. Listen to this extensive plan. And also, I'm going to tag one of my mutuals. She's been going through this book. I rebought this book. I read this in college, and it changed my life. It changed my relationship to my country, to my ancestors, to myself, because I had to know the history, the real history of my country, and why we are where we are. And boy, it all makes sense. So I'm going to tag her, go follow her. And she's going through this book, and I love it. I've learned so much. This is literally it's not that, this is just white men in America doing what the first people who came here were doing. The ones who, did the genocide and the chattel slavery and all that stuff. This is just that. This is more of that. So this is not shocking. And until we deal with our history, a white people's history, we will continue to live out this nightmare. What they have been indicted with is conspiracy to kidnap in a foreign country and production of child porn, because of course their extensive plan was to travel to Gonave Island. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I believe that's how you'd say it, Gonave in French, but I don't know, whatever. Sorry, never heard of this island, and I'm in the middle of this video, and I'm sorry, I'm not looking it up while I'm speaking. Is part of the Republic of Haiti, as if Haiti has not been through enough. My God, of all places. Anyway, and attempting a coup d'etat. They prepared from August 2024 till July 2025. Okay, 11 months these guys were disciplined in this plan. Look at all they did. And they planned to buy a boat and sail to the island, unalive every man on the island, overtake it by force, and take women and children as slaves. Now, just this, the Epstein stuff should not be shocking to us. This is a part of our history. Okay? That's what was happening in the South to the women and children and men that were enslaved. All right? This is what's been happening. This isn't new. This is our history. And this is exactly why they're banning books. They don't want us to know our history. They definitely don't want us reading this book or any of the many books that describe how we got here. But we're not breaking out of this cycle of violence until we look at the past and deal with it. So they enrolled in Creole classes, Haitian Creole classes, to prepare for the coup. They enrolled, or Gavin enrolled at North Texas Fire Academy in Rockwell. This was allegedly an effort to gain training and useful skills for their plot. The other dude, Tanner, enlisted in U.S. Air Force. The document says he intended to use the military training for the planned overthrow of the island. Well, if that isn't just too on the nose, going into the military to do what our military's been doing, it's just this guy decided to do it alone. Well, kind of, actually. No, not alone, but just not with the military. He wants his own little cult, these two guys, I guess. And they were look at this, hold on. Homeless people. They want to recruit this is like, it hits like every single thing. Like the colonizer mind, every single thing. And like, oh my God. Every problem in the U.S., these guys are kind of the perfect picture of that. Gavin failed out of fire training. The loser, he failed out of fire training. Did I wake you up? Sorry. He's such an entitled looking baby. So, Gavin bought tickets to Thailand, at least partially to enroll in a sailing course to prepare for getting to the island. The indictment says once he got to Thailand, look at this, he never enrolled due to the cost of the course. So, of course, this white guy goes to Thailand, and then I'm surprised he didn't do some harm over there. He probably did. And then he's like, he didn't even look up the price? God, these guys are like evil and dumb. Ugh. Tanner managed to change his Air Force assignment from a base in Germany to one in Maryland. The indictment says this was both to stay in the U.S., to continue planning their little coup, and to attempt to recruit homeless people from the Washington, D.C. area. Like, this is such an insane story, and it's comically awful. Do you know what I mean? I have a warped sense of humor. I laugh. I'm not like, this is so disturbing, but it's so crazy. They're also accused of coercing, here we go, a minor to engage in sex on camera. Okay, so they're already doing the child stuff. They can face up to life in prison if they're convicted of the conspiracy to murder. And they face 15 to 30 years in prison of the child stuff. When I first saw this, I was like, that right there. And this one right here. And they say white people aren't in touch with their culture. Oh, that's such a good joke. Because this is our culture. In the U.S., this is white culture. This is it. That's not all it is, but this is what it is. Watch Sinners, please. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please read this book if you want to understand. There's also a book called How the Irish Became White, okay? There's so many books that explain why so many crazy folks come from our country. Like, we're not just like the only crazy people, but that things are pretty extreme in the U.S. There's a lot of cults. There's a lot of serial unalivers. There's a lot of extremism, but it all is because of our history. Our history tells it all. And this one right here, when you have a civil war over slavery and win, but let the traitors get their way during Reconstruction and let them spend the next 150 years undermining every steps towards progress and away from oppression, this is the result. So when I hear someone like Scott Galloway, who I will never shut up about, go on every news site possible and say that men are having a hard time, they're lonely. We really need to invest more in men because God knows they don't have enough privilege. And women need to marry these men so they're not violent. Fork off. Because Scott, like so many people, will not deal with that white male entitlement that comes with patriarchy. He'll do anything, he'll talk around everything. And he, like so many, will not deal with the core issue, is that brainwashing under patriarchy that they own the world, they deserve the world, and they should be able to do whatever they want to get it. Anyway, God! And follow my Patreon if you want more stuff.
I, for one, would have loved to have seen the attempt of those two Texas guys go to the island of Gonaive to fulfill their long-inherited colonial and sexually physically violent dream against my people. Two 20-year-old fuck-ass racist degenerates plotting a coup d'etat in a country with people that they've never really encountered. And I think all of the violence that's been going on in the main capital of Haiti has got you guys confused. You're seeing these little Haitian women and Haitian men running for their lives, running to safety, and you guys are confused about the Haitian people. Maybe some of you need to test us out ourselves, because that gun pape blanc. This is not just exclusive to Haitians. This is a common understanding in all Black communities. We're not scared of you. We know what you're capable of. We know who you are. Because yes, maybe when you first got here, you know, some of the islanders, they're still a little ignorant and they still favor white people. They might have given you a little special treatment, but once they're on board, they're on board. You and your maybe 5, 6, 20 even mercenaries got to the island of 87,000 plus people. I wonder what would happen next. Même si t'es tué 100, même si t'es tué 200, 300, 400, t'as tué quand même. Même avec Kraska tant cool. No, because maybe you don't know Haitians like I know Haitians.
They tried to raise an army and invade an island. Yeah. 2 Texas men have just been arrested for planning to invade a Haiti island, wipe out all the men, and enslave the women for stuff that I can't even say on here. But this wasn't just something they spoke about on a Discord chat. They were actively planning to carry this out. They even tried to recruit homeless people in Washington for their army. You see, over the past year, 20 and 21-year-old Gavin and Tanner enrolled for the military and firearm training. They planned to learn how to sail. They took classes in the local language of the island that they were trying to invade, and they even intended to purchase an arsenal of weapons and ammunition. Now, thankfully, they didn't get too far in that training because they either dropped out or failed. But that's not even the craziest part, because they tried to take over the island of Gonaive, which has 87,000 people. That's why court documents reveal that the pair intended to recruit more people online, as well as homeless men in Washington for this army, which they then intended to all sail over together on a boat to this island for a surprise attack. But not only were their 13 months of planning this thing discovered by authorities, but they now face a maximum of life in prison. They've been indicted on a long list of charges, including conspiracy to murder, mayhem, or kidnap persons in a foreign country. And on top of that, the 2 men were also accused of the production of child you-know-what. So yeah, they are cooked.
They are the 2025 Beavis and Butthead. So Beavis and Butthead thought they were going to go to this small island off of the coast of Haiti that has 80,000 people, and they were going to unalive all the men on the island and use the women and children as sex slaves.
You a stupid hoe. You a stupid hoe. You a stupid hoe. Yeah, you a stupid hoe.
Like, do people not know the history of Haiti? Like, I mean, like, do y'all not know the history of the Caribbean, okay? The bad slaves were sent to the Caribbean, okay? So don't fuck with Caribbean people, okay? Especially those Haitians and the Jamaicans, okay? The bad slaves, okay, who had the worst behavior, okay, were sent to the Caribbean, okay? That's all I really have to say. Why Haiti? Why Haiti? Y'all should have done that shit in America. The plan probably would have worked better in America. Haiti? And then they said that they were going to recruit homeless people, they were going to get homeless people in DC. So they live in Texas, but they're going to go to DC to get homeless people to help them. What the hell? Homeless people what the, this, like, when I saw this story, I thought it was fake, but it's not. Like, it's a real fucking story. Like, people are so fucking stupid, bro. Like, what in the world? And then, like, one of the guys, he enlisted in the Marines so he could get training just to go to Haiti to unalive the men and use the women as sex slaves? What the fuck?
Basically, this was when colonizing goes wrong. You think you're going to colonize? This ain't the 1814, 1500s, motherfucker. This ain't happening anymore. This is exactly how Africa was taken over. You know, you had some white motherfuckers came in, all nice, trying to speak the language, chilling, eating, and all of a sudden they raping the women, killing the men off, and all of a sudden slavery happens, and that's, yeah. So these two white dudes, like Gavin Weisenberg, Tanner Thomas, had a plot to take over a Haitian island.
Prosecutors say Weisenberg and Thomas planned to invade the island by sailboat, heavily armed, using homeless people they would enlist from Washington, D.C. to murder the men on the island, take control of the territory, and then turn the women into sex slaves.
A Haitian island, about 87,000 people, they were plotting since 2024 to take on, to colonize and take over this Haitian island. Both of them took Haitian Creole classes. They went to one went to the U.S. Navy, joined the Air Force or whatever to learn how to sail a boat. They failed doing that. So they were just, studying weaponry, all kinds of shit. And their plan was, get this, guys, to kill off the men and keep the women as slaves and the children and sex traffic them and all this other shit. You know, they've been arrested. Thank God they were arrested, and they might go to jail for life. We hope so. I hope they go to hell for life too. So the fact that they even have lawyers that are going, that one of them wants to plead not guilty. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so my thing is like white guys wanting to get rid of black men and enslave and black women is what's so surprising. I think that most white men want to do that in general. Now, I said this on purpose because I know people, a lot of times, some of you all in these interracial relationships, y'all get so goddamn sensitive, you act like this isn't facts, okay? There are some people that will be in an interracial relationship and hate the race that they're dating, honestly. There are white dudes that have black girlfriends that hate black men. And there are white women that have black boyfriends and black husbands that hate black women. This is a fact. It's all facts, okay? So this is some. I didn't say all, but I say majority. And then these two are an example of what the fuck it is. You want to go and kill all the men and enslave all the women. Real fantasy, creepy. That's that black fantasy shit that a lot of white people have. We be running rent-free in their heads, all that's homoerotic. You guys ate us. There's a book called Delectable Negro. You can read it. You ate us. You smoked us. You pickled us. You cut off our penises, put them in jars. This is what white folks did. And you had Africans being cannibals, which has been true. So these two dudes, I hope they rot in hell, them, and all that other shit. Thank God that shit didn't work. When colonizing goes bad.
Two young men from Texas were just charged in one of the wildest and most disturbing plots I've seen in a long time. According to the federal indictment, they spent months planning to invade Gonave Island in Haiti. Not visit it, not travel to it, invade it. They laid out a plan to go in and unalive the men living on the island and then take the women and children for exploitation. This wasn't just hateful talk. They were actively working towards it. Federal investigators say that one of them enrolled in a fire academy trying to learn command style structure. And then when he flunked out, he traveled all the way to Thailand to learn how to sail so they could, get a boat there. And then those lessons never happened either. And then the other guy actually enlisted in the United States Air Force in January to pick up tactical and survival training. And then he moved stations to Maryland so he'd be closer to Washington, D.C., where he planned to recruit homeless people as a mercenary force. That's how far that they were taking this. They were researching weapons. They were practicing language skills. They were mapping out how to get to the island and how to take control once they arrived. And this is where their delusion really shows. Ganav Island has tens of thousands of people on it. It's big. It's populated. It's not just some empty patch of land you stumble onto with a backpack and a sailboat. The idea that two guys in their early 20s thought that they could take over an entire island full of real families and real communities is just plain dumb. And it's detached from reality in a way that's honestly frightening. They are now facing federal charges that include conspiracy to murder people in a foreign country. They're also facing a separate child exploitation charge for what one of them did online. Stories like this show how dangerous radicalization can get when nobody steps in early. Thankfully, the FBI caught it before anyone was hurt. I'll keep watching this one closely because more details are coming. If you enjoyed this story, make sure you follow me so you can get more stories like this that you won't see on the news.
Just when you think you've heard it all, Texas goes, hold my beer. You guys are literally not going to believe this story, okay? 21-year-old Gavin Weisenberg from Allen, Texas, and 20-year-old Thomas Tanner from Argyle, Texas. These two boys, basically, young men, plotted to sail down to Gonnev Island, which is like off of Port-au-Prince in Haiti, unalive all of the adult men, and force the women and children into schmexual slavery indefinitely. No, I'm not joking. I mean, you literally cannot write this. Oh, don't worry. I have a little nugget hidden in here for you. They took Creole lessons for like half a year, sailing, firing lessons. The Thomas kid, the one who's still at large, by the way, the other one is in custody, Tanner Thomas, he joined the Air Force and managed to get some position down in, like, I think he was stationed in Maryland or DC. And they were going around trying to recruit homeless people to use as basically like cannon fodder during their invasion of Gonnev Island. And then here's the really gross part. They recruited a 15-year-old American and used her as practice for their, how do I say this? Their great fantasies. Yeah, I mean, that's the story. That's real. It really happened. We have a genuine problem in this country with our young men. When your fantasies, anyway, that's the story.
And to the two men who tried to enslave a small Haitian island, that Christopher Columbus shit don't work in 2025. Huh? And to the two men who tried to enslave a small Haitian country, that Christopher Columbus ass shit don't goddamn work in 2025. These two brothers who look like quarterbacks from 1982, Gavin Weisenberg and Tanner Thomas, they thought they could go off the coast of Haiti and take over Ganavi Island. It's a little island off the coast. Now, they thought they was going to go here and enslave the homeless, women, and children, and they was just going to be fine with it. This was a plan that was going on since August of last year. Now, why people waited so long to talk about this, I don't know. But apparently, one of them even took classes to see how you rule in situations like this, a.k.a. taking over little small countries that don't got nothing to do with people of your kind. Now, all of a sudden it had hit the news, and ain't nobody going for none of that. They have been arrested, they got the plot and all of that. Now, they wasn't planning on doing this alone. Apparently, it was a group of people, but these two were the head honchos of the whole situations. Why y'all don't never go places that's other islands, the people that look like y'all? Why y'all try to enslave us? Now, this is the crazy thing. Of all of this, they was enslaving them not for just regular slave work like picking cotton and stuff.
They said they wanted some hunt slaves.
Wait a minute now. I knew y'all liked them round and brown. I'm just here to bring y'all the news. When it develop a little more, I'll tell y'all a little more. I'm just a messenger.
The confidence of mediocre white men is completely unmatched, because what do you mean these two men below me, Tanner and Gavin, from North Texas, were going to attempt to take over a Haitian island that had 87,000 inhabitants, overpower the entire island, unalive all the men, and turn the women and children into smeck slaves? These two are sitting behind bars right now. They faced life in prison for this. They also had CSAM on their devices, but they were arrested back in July. The details of this case, though, are just surfacing. So essentially, their plan was to take a sailboat and bring it down to Haiti and enact this plan that they've been training a year for, okay? But don't worry, they weren't going to do it alone. They were going to recruit the homeless population of DC. That is correct. I haven't read a headline this ridiculous in quite some time. You were going to try to take on 87,000 people, one, and two, you were going to try to take on the gangs in Haiti? The confidence of mediocre white men. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow, or you won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
You can't make this up. You can't make this stuff up. Not even if you tried. Everybody meet Gavin Weinsberg and Tanner Thomas, two men of Texas who were planning to go to a Haitian island, take over the island, unalive all of the men, enslave all of the women and children, and essay them. They even went as far as joining the Texas Fire Academy and the Air Force to prepare for this attack. Now, this guy, Gavin, joined the Fire Academy in Texas and failed. He failed out. Our buddy Tanner Thomas over here decided he was going to join the Air Force so that they can prepare themselves to invade the island and take over. They were also planning to recruit people who were experiencing homelessness to invade the island. This is how committed they were to this sick plan. And this was all to play out their fantasies of unaliving and essaying Haitian people. Oh, and I forgot to say that they also went out of their way to learn Creole. Now, obviously, they didn't do enough research because history would have told them what happened during the Haitian Revolution. Haiti is not the place you wanted to go to try to do something like that. It wouldn't have gone in your favor, I promise. Anyway, lock them up forever. Don't let them out because what?
Did y'all see that 2 men in Texas were arrested by the feds for conspiring to steal the island of Haiti? Yes, they thought they were going to go to Haiti and, I don't know, overthrow the government, take over the island. Yes, 2 palm-colored men in Texas were arrested. They had plans to go to Haiti, kill all the men, and keep the women and children as sex slaves. And they've also been arrested on child charges. Now, these 2 men are young. They're like 20 and 21 years old. Definitely gives entitled, spoiled brats, raised to be racist. I mean, they're from Texas and entitled. And let me tell you the links that they went to prepare for this plan. One of them went to firefighter school, I guess, to learn skills, but flunked out. One of them went to Thailand to go to do a sailing course so they could learn how to sail because they were going to be taking a boat to Haiti with heavy machinery to kill all the people, but could not afford the sailing class in Thailand, so they still came back. And then one of them, I don't know which one out of the 2, joined the Air Force. Requested to be moved to a base, I guess, closer to DC, and was trying to recruit homeless people to join them on this journey to Haiti to take over the island. Yes. So they have been indicted by the feds for the conspiracy charge, conspiracy to commit murder in foreign land or something like that, and the child sex crimes. Because apparently they were encouraging also a minor to do certain things with them. But that's crazy that they thought they were just going to go to an island and take it over. And it's like, why are y'all so obsessed with black people? Why do you want to go to a black island and make them slaves? It's very weird. Kill the men and make the women and the children slaves? Very alarming.
I have fought tooth and nail to get my page off of the banned list, and shortly after succeeding, several of my videos became ineligible for recommendation. I refuse to water down serious issues with childish language. I do not want to say grape. I do not want to say unalive. I want to call crimes what they are. So I have a question for TikTok. Why are you censoring real world violence and the words needed to describe it?
Why is educational, investigative, and awareness-based content treated the same as harmful content? What community are we protecting if we can't name the violence that impacts that very community? What is the logic behind suppressing factual language and allowing coded language to prevail? Why are we gentrifying language of actual crimes? Please answer this.
2 men from Texas have just been indicted for plotting something so violent and so racist, it almost doesn't sound real at first. But for Black and Indigenous people, this kind of violence has never been unthinkable. These men spent more than a year planning to invade the island of Gonave in Haiti, murder every man on the island, and then enslave every woman and child. Their plan was to build a mercenary force, carry out mass killings, and turn Haitian women and children into to fulfill their fantasies. Court documents say they plan to buy a sailboat, gun and ammunitions, and then recruit unhoused people from Washington, D.C. as their army. Reports even say they discussed staging a coup. Both men are now facing federal charges for conspiracy to commit murder in a foreign country, kidnapping, production of child SA material, and more. If convicted, they could spend the rest of their lives in prison, and they should. This is not an isolated incident. This is colonial violence repeating itself in the present. Violence like this grows in the same ecosystem that excuses occupation, exploitation, genocide, and militarized cruelty around the world.
Bonjour tout le monde, bonjour tout le monde, bonjour tout le monde. Gen yon parole m'kap di la. 2 white men from Texas who plotted to go to Haiti, to Lagonave, to take over Lagonave Island in Haiti. 2 white men from Texas were plotting to recruit homeless people in Texas to go to Lagonave to commandeer the island of Lagonave in Haiti.
A federal grand jury indicted 2 North Texas men accused of plotting to invade a foreign island, kill the men, and take the women as sex slaves.
Prosecutors say one of the men enlisted in the Air Force to get military training he thought he needed.
Say they plan to recruit people who are homeless in Washington, D.C. to serve on their, quote, expeditionary force and take over a small Haitian island. The grand jury indictment handed...
What I would say to you people is you will be fucked up if you try to go to Haiti and commandeer people. Thinking you could kill the men and make the women sex slaves is absolutely insane. You would have found out very quickly who our ancestors were, and you would have been taken out of the fuck people. Why? There needs to be a study of why white men think that they are all Christopher Columbus and that they can colonize. In 2025, you think you're going to go to the island of Haiti and be what? Welcome with open arms? You think we're going to say, bienvenue, no. No. Guys, at some point, we got to do better in this world. We just got to do better because 2 white men from Texas, I want to reiterate, 2 white men from Texas were planning to go to Haiti. Back on him.
You ever heard something so wildly offensive you were like, this can't be real? Okay, I got a story on some YCs, young colonizers. Tanner Thomas and Gavin Weisenberg out of North Texas decided that they was going to go ahead and colonize an island off of Haiti. They were planning a coup where they were doing military training in the Air Force and also at a firefighter academy, which they both could not complete. And the goal was to go ahead and take over this island, enslave the people of Haitian descent, and also do some weird sex fantasy stuff. It's gross. It's disgusting. I don't want to get into it. Read the articles if you need to know about it. But these were very, very, very sick, delusional men who thought they were going to take a sailboat, put a bunch of armed weaponry on a sailboat, go to this island off Haiti, enslave the people, recruiting homeless people from Washington, D.C. to be part of their militia, to take this over so they could somehow play out some weird, extremely delusional fantasy that they had. This is the problem when colonization meets the internet. People just, it doesn't even make sense anymore. So I share this story to say, in all realness, Haiti is not a place to be exploited and colonized, even though to this very day they're going through extremely serious issues. But that's what the world does. The world looks for exploitation in weak places, even though these are two individual men that are not working in a large scale. But if this was a corporation, this was a government, that's how these things happen at much higher levels. So it's important to remember that when we look at what's going on in modern day with colonization, people have these fantasies that they play out. And this is a small, minute level, but on large scale, it happens to governments and corporations all the time. And once more, Haiti is a place to be respected. It's a place to be invested. It's a place to honor and cherish their history and build with our brothers over there. Not take, not put down, and not exploit.